Hey everybody, Prepper Nurse One here. Welcome, welcome. Uh, Hope everybody's having a good day. Very busy day here at the homestead, so hope everybody's doing well. So we're going to be talking about they're always watching. Somebody's always watching you. So we're going to get into that. We're actually going to get into something else as well, a little bit that I wanted to talk about. So we're going to get into that as well. So I hope everybody's doing well. Just before we get started here, I just want to remind everybody that this is a very family-friendly oriented channel. So please be respectful, be decent to each other in the chat. No nastiness, not even to each other. I don't care if you don't like each other either. Please be nice, because if you don't, those awesome people lit up in blue, my moderators will boot you out of the chat. So please be decent to each other. Yep. Have you ever been talking about something and just like that, it shows on your phone as an advertisement? Of course, that happens all the time. So we talked about that a little bit in the video I did the other day. The other thing, guys, when I'm done talking, if you want to, so it stands out for me, everything in cap locks, and that way it pops out there for me more. Okay. So, but all right. So let's talk about. I mean, if you go. Nowadays, okay, we're going to give a couple examples. If you go to a gas station, you go to Walmart, you go to the mall, you go anywhere, okay, that is, a place, they have cameras everywhere now. I know that Walmart has facial recognition and they're saying they're doing it because of shoplifters and stuff like that, but anybody that goes in, they're being monitored. So that's something to think about, as far as that goes. So wherever you are, if it's in a public, like if you go into the cities, there's cameras all over the freaking place all the time. Every kind of shop has a security system. And here's something interesting too. There was a couple, and they showed they just use this one couple as an example. There was a company or like freelance, journalist. And they did this thing to show how easy this works. So these people in this home, they had security cameras on the front of their house and they had them on the back of their house, okay? And so they were doing a renovation project in the back of their home, all right? So it was all being streamed. If you went to this particular site, you could see everything that was going on with this home because of these security cameras. And so there was no privacy with it at all. So what they did was they went to this family's home and they knocked on the door, told them who they were, and then showed them these security cameras that you had put up that were, purchased through XYZ company. Everything that you're doing is being filmed or streamed right through this particular website. And they could not believe it. Yep, somebody said they saw that too. Yep, Sean Wheeler said, yep. And it was just, to me, that was crazy. That so the technology is in those things that they can watch you when you're using it for security or for whatever reasons, and if it's tied into the system, which theirs was obviously tied into the system, they were able to pull all that information out and download it and keep it. This happens all the time, and what has happened is we have gotten so used to cameras being everywhere that we don't think twice about it anymore. But there was, if anybody's seen Enemy of the State with, oh God, what's the actor's name? Real good actor, and I can't think of his name. They can signal you out through satellite. Yeah, you're right, they can. Was it Will Ferrell? No, it wasn't Will Ferrell. No, was it Denzel Washington? I know. Will Smith. That's who it was. Yes, thank you. I knew somebody was going to know who it was. Enemy of the State. The movies was Will Smith. His friend shows up. Yep, Gene Hackman was in that as well. But he was, his friend gave him some satchel, and now they were chasing him down. They discredited him. They made him look like he was this horrific, terrible person, and they were doing this major manhunt, and they were using all the modern surveillance to try to catch him. And it just, granted, it's a movie, but that's very realistic. And any kind of dirt they want to plant on anybody, they can do it. That happens all the time, too. If you're trying to discredit somebody, how about this one? If you want to discredit somebody, here's a great way you want to discredit someone. You're political figure that people think is fantastic or whatever, but he has ideas that they don't want to have, in there. So you put kiddie porn on his computer or his phone or whatever, which can be done, guys. It can be done. Then he gets popped for it. If you were accused of that, getting out of that is like, trying to clear your name. It's like ridiculous. And that's just one example. Another one, okay, think about this. Bill Gates was doing an interview one time, and he had his laptop open. And his camera, right there in front of that laptop, he had it taped over, all right? They can watch you there. So here I am in my home, enjoying a nice evening, relaxing on my laptop, looking around, and they can watch everything that you're doing. So everything can be hacked into. It can be, and as the technology gets better and better, it continues on. So here's one little fun little fact. I don't know if you guys knew this or not. The Patriot Act just got extended, went through the House unanimously with the Democrats, and that extended it, I think, for another 3 months. And so there you go. So they can continue to spy on American citizens with no due process, with no warrants, all that type of stuff. So, yep. No Maxine. I don't know what you were talking about, Wolfang. My Wi-Fi has the signal when I do not have it connected. Well, like I said, I mean, if they can, if you have that open, they can, watch anything. Like I said, this here, you've given them a tracking device. That's all you've done with having a telephone, okay? Because they can track where you are, know what you're doing, know what's going on, and it's that easy. And we went out there and purchased it ourselves, and we keep getting the latest and the greatest models. I mean, and I'm guilty too, guys. I'm not like trying to hammer on you guys and not say that I'm not part of that as well. I like having the convenience of that phone, and I'm not going to lie. It's everything I want's right there. Wherever I'm at, I can go on there and search for it. It's very convenient. And so, Facebook, Instagram equals the FBI. You're right. Yeah. Facebook, it's already been proven what they've done, that they're collecting data on everybody all the time. It's just, it's absolutely insane. And it just continues on and on and on. But same with DNA testing. They can do what they want. Well, here's a funny thing about that. You talk about that. And I told my daughter, don't ever do that. The DNA, find your ancestry, blah, 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 blah. You know how many crimes that they have solved with the DNA thing like that? Because all that information that you're giving to those companies, government can get their hands on, and they run it through the database for unknown, unsolved crimes, and they have actually caught people. The guy in California was a former cop, and that's how they caught him. Not because he did the DNA test. He didn't do the DNA test. One of his relatives did. They figured it out through that DNA that it had to be a relative of his. They matched it up with the time and place and stuff like that. This guy threw away a pop can. They went and got that pop can, checked that DNA, bam, they got him. So, I mean, it's just as easy as that as far as doing that. So, those things like that, you're thinking, oh, wow, this is really cute. Let me see where, what my ancestry is. And so you do it, and now you're in the database. So, right, you don't get out of prison without giving a DNA swab. Exactly, they do that all the time now because then they're in the database. And how many? Elizabeth Warren wants to make homeschooling illegal if she gets elected. Pamela Exer said that. Thank you for that donation too, Pamela. That I did not know, which is ridiculous. Well, because they want to control. It's all about control. That you got to understand. They want complete and total control. They want to control every aspect of our lives. And if they can make the laws more draconian as they go along, they're going to do that because they don't like people to be free thinkers or independent and not tied to the system, independent on the system. They don't like that at all. So they want to have you under their wing, per se, so that they can control you. And that's what it is. It's what it always comes down to is control. So, but This is worse than 1984. Well, they probably didn't know when they wrote that book how bad it truly could be. But anything can be checked, you know. Yeah, it's definitely gone crazy since Trump. If Trump goes, yeah. Well, he's not getting impeached. I don't see him getting impeached. It's a dog and pony show. And again, now, so here they're doing the whole thing with the impeachment, all right? And everybody's focus is on that impeachment, but they were not thinking about or talking about the fact that they've extended the Patriot Act now, and they did it very quietly. Where it's, like I said, it's been extended again for, I think, for another 3 months or something like that. They slipped it in with the bill to extend the budget so that they can keep the government open. So yeah, so they can keep us, like I said, under their thumb. I mean, here's something I don't think a lot of people realize: the Patriot Act was written before 9/11, so they had this thing in place ahead of time, ready to roll it out. Okay. And so they needed to have a time when they could present this where the American people would go, oh, yeah, please take away more of my freedoms and my rights. Yes, please do it. You know, it's ridiculous. So let's go on that. Bill Norwood says Trump is innocent. Let's talk about that for a second. And my one buddy's going to hammer on me for this because it's like me and him have had this discussion. And he doesn't like Trump, which is fine, but he's not a Democrat. So he just, he's a free thinker as well. But here's the thing, and this is what I had said to him. And we've had this conversation when it pertained to Hillary Clinton as well. And it was, I kind of got the same blowback, okay? So we're having this discussion, and I said to him, I go, okay, so here's my thing with this phone call and stuff like that. Why aren't the Bidens being investigated for illegally doing what they're doing? When Hunter Biden is being paid $83,000 a month to be on this board and at the time his father was the vice president, why isn't that being investigated? Where Biden himself got a prosecutor fired through intimidation, why isn't that being investigated? And so this was what I said to my buddy. I said, well, what about that? Well, it doesn't matter. We're talking about the president. And I'm like, but that all matters. So Trump is asking for information to find out of these illegal dealings by Biden and his son. But that's okay. There's nothing going on with that. I think that's ridiculous. You look at Pelosi's kid is on that board as well. So there is a lot of corruption, guys. And I'm not just talking on the Democratic side. It is on the Republican side as well. So please don't think that I'm, rah-rahing the Republicans. The corruption is very, very deep, and it's all the way around, okay? But in this instance, they're making this big fiasco. But at the same time, they're not investigating these other people for having their children. So everybody's all up in arms. Oh, we got to see Trump's tax returns. We got to see Trump's tax returns. Well, what about all the tax returns of these congressmen who go in there, not millionaires, and they come out as millionaires, multimillionaires in some cases, like Pelosi? Okay, what about them? Where is the underhandedness and the squeaky clean records of these people? I think that should be investigated as well. If they did that, you would see a lot of powerful people come down. You look at the child trafficking. That doesn't happen unless powerful people are allowing that to happen. So I want you to think about that too. It's just, I find this very, very fascinating that, people get zeroed in on one aspect and are not looking at the bigger picture of what's going on. Why are they going after Trump so hard? Realistically, even before he took office, they were screaming for him to be impeached or to get him out. I mean, it's insanity. 3 years of wasted time with the whole Russian collusion nonsense. And, it just continues on and on and on. And so that didn't pan out. So now they go to the whole impeachment thing, and then you have elected officials that as soon as they're elected, and we'll know who this is when I say this, and they say, impeach the MF right away. First thing that this person says. Now, come on. I mean, really, that's somebody we're supposed to look up for or look up to and stuff like that. So here's the thing. Politicians are human beings like anybody else. Now, are they held to a higher standard because of the position that they're in? Well, they are. They should be, I guess. You know what I mean? They're in that position of power. But unfortunately, over and over and over again, that position of power is taken advantage of, and money's exchanged and stuff like that, and favors, and that happens all the time. So, and do I think Trump is squeaky clean? Of course not. He's a businessman. You show me a businessman out there that hasn't made it and done well, and show me that they're squeaky clean. I'm going to say it's few and far between. Now, I'm just, yeah. So Ronnie just said they've been on Trump since day one. Absolutely. Politicians have access to inside technologies and make large speculative purchases. Yep, and it always strikes gold. Right, they're always given those hot tips of what company they should buy into. They buy into it and they make a fortune. It happens all the time because they have that information. So, but yeah, it's just now let's talk. Here's another thing that happens a lot too. Let's talk about, how about organ harvesting? You don't think that happens on a large scale and is being allowed to happen? Why? So the drug trade, guys. I mean, if there wasn't the demand for fentanyl, for ecstasy, for heroin, for cocaine, there would be no drug trafficking. But we continue to just do what we're doing. Hey, Red Wolves, Ed, the impeachment hearings are a joke. If I had to testify before Congress, I would tell them to stop wasting our taxpayers' dollars on nothing and use that money for something useful like our schools. You know what? I can't agree with you more. You are absolutely 100% right. It's a complete waste of time. It's a complete waste of taxpayers' money, and he's not going to get impeached. So, and thank you so much for that donation. I do appreciate that. It's just, the whole situation is nuts. I sit back here and I look at it and I just go, this is just crazy. It's just absolutely crazy. So, yeah, I don't know. I just don't get it. If Trump wins the re-election, we're all in deep trouble. I think, well, the reason for this whole impeachment stuff is they're trying to make sure that he doesn't get reelected. Because realistically, what viable candidate, Elizabeth Warren, who lied about her heritage, okay, about where she comes from, or Biden, who, Creepy Joe. I mean, you've seen how the videos, and it's on video, how he like he's a toucher with little kids. I mean, like creepy touching, I mean, if I was out in a situation with my kids and some creepy old man was doing that with I'd be like, dude, man, get your hands off my kid, So, I mean, there's just, there's no good candidate to come in there. Like when Obama came in, okay, Obama was the knight in shining armor and everybody thought Obama was going to save the day. And I think he actually was surprised that he got elected. And it was almost like, okay, now what? Okay. So, realistically, what did he do for 8 years? He didn't help this country. He divided it worse than I think it's been in 20 years, which is sad. It really is sad, to be honest with you. And if Hillary was presented, we would be at war, or president, we'd be at war for a long time ago on many wars. Yeah, well, you know what? I kind of agree with you on that. The agendas, they want war, and I think Trump is trying to keep us out of war. That's my personal opinion. I don't have any definitive proof of that, but I think that he's trying to, like with the whole situation with North Korea and that type of stuff, the way he handled that, I thought he did a great job. There's still games being played. There's always going to be games being played. There's always going to be there's always going to be that, pushing back and forth. But North Korea is no threat to us, guys. Iran is no threat to us. All right. None of these countries like that. I mean, the threat to us, realistically, if you want to put a threat, it isn't Russia. I'll tell you that right now. And I've said it now. I'm going to say, it's been like 30 years. China's who we need to worry about. China is a very, very large country. They're very smart. They're very smart people, and they're very diligent at what they do. And so that one snake that has two heads. Yeah, well, there you go. But they always have an agenda. They always have, you got to understand when, and Trump, what I would say would be the exception to this because he used his own money. He didn't owe anybody. But the politicians that are elected, they owe their special interest groups that help them get elected. Okay, so like the bank. Okay, so let's go back to Bush, and I don't remember which Bush it was. If it was, I think it was the second Bush. Okay, when he got elected and he was reelected, and he did that whole thing for the banks. That whole thing that he signed back then only helped the banks. It did not help the American people at all. So it basically, I think what it was that you couldn't go bankrupt anymore, that you had to file like Chapter 10 or something. I can't remember exactly which chapter it was, where you have to pay back part of that. You couldn't just go in, file Chapter 7 and get everything expunged. You couldn't do that anymore because of that bill that he signed. And who was one of his largest contributors for his election? Oh, yeah, it was the banks. So, again, you got to look. Yeah, Chapter 11. Okay, yep, exactly. So, but, you have to look at beyond what is just in front of you. You have to look back. That old saying, follow the money. Well, who benefits from whatever law is being passed? Who's the one that's benefiting? I mean, if you had told me, and let's even go back to when I graduated from nursing school. When I graduated from nursing school, and I've told this story before, and I'm going to say it again. 1994, I graduated from nursing school. My first wife and I went on vacation down to Florida. Flew down. Okay, we were at Daytona Beach. We were right on the ocean, and so then we took a couple days and went down to Miami. We ended up going to this huge flea market. I bought a set of samurai swords, which I still have. Okay, buy this set of samurai swords, and they're in the box. And I said, because you couldn't trust putting anything underneath the plane, because the baggage handlers in some cases would go through and steal stuff. Okay, so I didn't want my swords to disappear. So I got this freaking box that's, from the floor is probably this high, and I brought it on a plane with me, and I had it between my legs and flew home from Florida back to Rochester, New York, with 3 samurai swords in my possession. I mean, is the TSA and all that necessary? I really don't think so. I really don't. That is a draconian thing they've put in place to justify a job. What happened? There's a lot of speculation. We can get into that in another time. But again, that situation that happened. And, I believe, in my personal opinion, it was allowed to happen. People are going to disagree with that with 9/11. But, just a really bad situation. Hey, L. Gibson, have you heard anything about the tracking chip being in new driver's license? FYI, sent you an email today. Yeah, I did see the email, L. Gibson, and I'm going to get back to you on that. Thank you for that donation. Well, they're talking about the new, like to be able to fly and stuff like that, and starts in 2020, that you have to have, it's an enhanced license of some sort. I can't remember exactly. National ID, that's what it is. Yeah. Yep. So they're talking about that, where you won't be able to go into any court buildings or be able to fly if you don't have that. And again, yes, that's a tracking device. But remember, guys, you already have a tracking device. So a chip in your driver's license with your information on it, it's not going to make any difference. Here's your tracking device right here that you're carrying around with you every single day. Okay, that's the reality. All the new cars, all the stuff they have in those, I mean, they can track you anywhere you are. So passports have the chip. Okay, yeah, I didn't know if they did or not. Yeah, I heard when SHTF happens, the government will try to use everyone's GPS and cell phones to see where large groups are located. It would depend on the situation. Our cabin in the woods, if it was a grid down situation, they wouldn't be able to do that, number one. But if it was like a pandemic type of situation and the communications were still up, that would be a whole different ballgame. So just so you guys know, on Friday, we're going to be talking about the Iran situation and what's going on right now in Iran. And I think that's going to be a great topic. So I'm going to save that for Friday. Well, I was going to bring that up today, but I want to wait. I want to bring that up on Friday, and we'll discuss that on Friday, what's going on over there and what the government over there is doing too. And could that type of stuff happen here, which Absolutely, yes, it could. Uh, the people on the 9/11 flights are not dead. They are located someplace. Um, well, it wouldn't surprise me if they were dead, to be honest with you. But yeah, it's been proven a lot of different things with that whole situation. That not a good situation. Now I haven't asked yet, so I'm sorry. So for all of my trolls that are watching, I do apologize that I'm late in the game asking for this. So I gotta give them their love that way. If you haven't shot me a thumbs up yet, guys, if you would do that, I definitely would appreciate it. Yeah, they got suicided. Sean Wheeler said, yeah, exactly. So yeah, if you haven't shot me that thumbs up yet, I definitely would appreciate that. So, um, 9/11 an inside job. Yeah, it was absolutely allowed to happen, and there was a lot of other things with that that is just too much BS, to be honest with you. So, are you being careful with that lady sending you all that stuff? Seems strange. Okay, so let's talk about that for a second, guys. I know that there's been talk. I had somebody say maybe it's Mountain Girl. No, it's not Mountain Girl. Okay, so just so you guys know, this person contacted me. I actually gave them my number, told them to give me a call. I have not spoken with this person, okay, like at all on the phone. Uh, I don't see any kind of ulterior motive as far as I can see. So it's just a very, very generous person. I'm unbelievably grateful. When I found out, okay, so I ordered a greenhouse. That obviously that came today, and the then I got a call. So I was saving this because I wanted to wait till it got here for the Aquaponics starter kit. Okay. Oh, and I wanted to tell you. Hold on. So what somebody had asked what the name of the company is, and I have that information right here. So I want to make sure I give you guys that. Let's see. The name Endless Food Systems is the name of the company. Okay. So it's again, Endless Food Systems is where the aquaponics system came from, and so they had contacted me, and they said, "Yeah, we need your email address so we can send you the password and stuff." And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" And they were like, "You don't know?" And I said, and again, I went, "What are you talking about?" He said, "Well, a aquaponics starter system has been ordered for you, and so that's how I found out that I was getting this aquaponic starter kit." And yes, I'm going to have to put the tank inside first and build around it because I don't think I could get that through the door. It's a 240-gallon tank. And so somebody was, there was a lot of comments about it and stuff like that. And I know it's going to be a lot of work. Okay. I know I'm going to have to keep an eye on stuff and monitor things. Oh, excuse me. As far as that goes. And I'm okay with that. I'm absolutely okay with that. I mean, I'm home full time now, so I will be able to do that. I think it's going to be a very interesting endeavor, and it's going to be a lot of fun. There's going to be a huge learning curve because I know squadouche, and I'm going to be honest with you, I don't know very much at all. But I don't think that there's any ulterior motives for this person. I just think that it's a very, very generous person that did that. And I am very blessed, guys. I mean, I've said it over and over and over again. It's unbelievable what this individual has done for me. And I'm very, very humbled by it. I'm very, very blessed. And, this is something that I've wanted to do. And this was in the plans for next year. And now I'm going to be in that position where, I can hopefully, like I said, the next step for me right now is getting fill in here, fill dirt, and getting that whole area built up higher. Okay. Once that part of it's done, then I can get the greenhouse up. Until then, the greenhouse is going to sit in that box right where it's at. I put a tarp over the top of it to help protect it. It's very, very good where it's at right now. I mean, the freaking box weighs 1,900 pounds. So it's not light. Real nice kid delivered it. He came in, he was in a 48-foot tractor trailer truck. So he was able to get it in here, and real nice kid. So what is the forecast there? We actually got mild temperatures, to be honest with you. The next 5 to 7 days is going to be in the 40s. I think. Actually, I can tell you in a second. See if I'm wrong with that. Hold on a second. Let's take a look. We're looking at 50 tomorrow, 46 on Friday, 46 on Saturday, 42 Sunday, 49 on Monday, 51 on Tuesday, and 47 on Wednesday. So right up through the 27th, we're looking at really decent weather. So, if I can get that in here, no snow, no. So if I can get that in here, and get that set up, then I'm going to absolutely get out. I want to get the greenhouse up before the weather really turns to crap. Because then I can, like I said, get that in there, get that set up, get the other parts and everything, get it set up, not run it through the winter. But then I could also in the spring, when the spring gets here, probably February, March, I can actually start growing other plants in there. And then as we get, warmer and I can get that geothermal in, then we can start setting up the aquaponics and stuff like that. So there's definitely, I will be growing this year in there exclusively, I think, in the greenhouse. I'm going to try it and see how that goes. But I definitely going to set up more of the aquaponics. I want to do that. I have the other things that were sent. When I showed you guys the grow towers, okay, that's all aquaponics stuff as well. So it's going to be very, very cool. So basically, a lot of the stuff that's in the shop right now, sitting in boxes and stuff that's been sitting there, once we get the greenhouse up, a lot of that's going to go right into the greenhouse. So it's exciting. I'm excited to get it going and do it. I think it's going to be very, very cool. I definitely have to increase my battery. I don't think I need more panels. I need more batteries. I got to have better battery capacity, because if I have to run pumps and stuff like that with the greenhouse, then I definitely need to have more battery. So like I said, I'm looking into I was actually looking at the Edison ones, and they're really great batteries, but they're really, really expensive. So I don't think I'm going to be able to go with the Edison. I would love to, but they're like ridiculously expensive. But so I think I'm going to go with lithium ion, I think is the name of them. So I think that's what we're going to do. The Tesla batteries. Yeah, I was looking at those too. So I really have to I'm going to talk to a couple different companies, see what kind of deal we can work out. I have a few different options. So I definitely need to contact them and work with them. And if I'm getting good batteries, and then, I can, no tilapia. I will not be using tilapia at all. They're garbage. They're a garbage fish. Kingdom. Yep. Kingdom is the name of the greenhouse. It is, if you go into the comment section, somebody had put the link in there. So, because people were asking what was the name of it, and somebody had put the link in like 3 different times, and it takes you right to that website. So if you go look at the video that I did earlier today, and that link is there, and you'll be able to go and check out those greenhouses that they have there. So I'm thinking trout, but I may do something else. I'm not 100% sure yet what we're going to do. I was talking to my neighbors, and they were making a suggestion, and they said don't do trout. They were saying something else. So I can't remember what they said, like bluegill maybe was part of it, or something. I can't remember exactly what it was. What amp Edison battery is the best? Well, like I said, depends on how much money you got to spend, because those Edison batteries are not cheap. They're not cheap. I mean, it's like for a 12-volt Edison battery, I think it was like $1,000 for a 12-volt battery, something like that, or maybe it was even more. I can't remember, because I was looking, and I was like, that is like way out of my reach, way out. Don't waste your money on Tesla batteries, somebody just said. But yeah, like I said, I'm looking at different. I'm looking at different options, and I have like my electrician guy that's part of my group. He sent me a lot of different information, and so I'm going to talk to. Somebody said walleye, yeah, or perch. I think maybe it was perch. Maverick, yep, I think it was perch is what we were talking about. They said perch is good eating, and they're a hardy fish. So I think that might have been the one we were talking about. So anyway, so there. Yes, Aloha Prepper said, "That's exactly right. Tilapia are garbage. They are. They're a garbage fish. They're horrible fish. Horrible to eat." With the best water to drink if you filter it. Absolutely, I would filter anything nowadays coming out of a tap. Uh, because of the fluoride in it and everything else that you don't know what you're drinking, I would filter everything that you possibly can. Bottled water is full of fluoride and stuff as well. So, again, piranha, yeah, yeah, that's right. And then if I have somebody I don't like, I just take them in and put them in the piranha tank. Oh my God, that's too funny, Mike. But anyway, but there, like I said, it's going to be fun. It's going to be interesting. Like I said, I'm going to learn, and I'm going to show you guys as I learn, and in that way, hopefully, whatever mistakes that I will make, because I'm sure I'll make mistakes, I can show you what I did wrong, what I do right, and a whole thing like that, and kind of go from there. So I have a lot of work to do this winter researching different things. I'll be honest with you. I got to get going with the bee things. I got to talk to some beekeepers in the area and get together with them and see what I can, get going for the spring to get a queen and go from there and get the beehive up. So there's a lot of next year's probably just going to be as busy as this year. It's going to be very, very interesting. I'm looking forward to it. And so do you have any problem with the water filter from Berkey? No, not at all. I'm going to tell you what. I don't have any kind of affiliation. Let me just say that right off the bat with the Berkeys. I don't have any kind of affiliation with them. Absolutely love the product. You take the filters out. If you take them out once a month, which I don't, but you should, and clean them at least once a month, I use a toothbrush to clean the filters. So I probably do it every couple of months, to be honest with you. And but they are an absolutely awesome system. Love the system. No problems with it at all. I got like a 6-gallon Berkey, and it works great. Depending on the size of your family, and that's depending on what you need. And again, I went bigger because I figured down the road, if I got a bunch of people in the group, we're going to have water going constantly. So, for people to have drinking water and stuff like that, fresh, clean drinking water. And so that's why, I'm always trying to plan ahead. So local fish are much more likely to die than hardy garbage fish. Well, the tilapia are a warm water fish, so you would have to keep the tank up to a certain level to keep them. Where perch, I'm pretty sure it was perch that we were talking about. They are the ones they're hardier fish, so they would be able to handle the colder temperatures. I just want you to know that the stuff you're doing and showing us is awesome. Well, thank you, Heather Parker. I appreciate that. I like sharing with you guys. I like trying to show you that, this is something that is very, very doable. And if you work at it and get things squared away, anybody can do it. Anybody can, Ed, what's your form of combat during SHTF? I don't know what you mean, my form of combat. I'm ex-Army, so, and I grew up in the woods as a kid and hunted as a kid and all that type of stuff. So I know how to shoot. I'm good. Was a sharpshooter in the military, so I definitely can hit my target, but reminds me of Christmas. Yeah, no kidding. Absolutely it's been incredible. And there's another truck coming on Friday, and I think I know what's on that truck, but I don't know for sure. So I'll find out Friday. But spray and pray. Yeah, he's Army, so his technique is spray and pray. Yeah, no, I don't think so, Mike, but nice. That's pretty funny. But guys, if you haven't shot that thumbs up yet, I see what are we at 256 on the thumbs up? If you would do that, I would appreciate it. Like I said, I have to irritate my trolls because I know they hate it when I ask for a thumbs up. So I got to make sure that I do it. And sometimes I forget. So I want to make sure that we keep on it. And I'd like to see what kind of number we can reach by the end of the show anyway. So do you drink water or just Arizona? That's funny. Yes, I actually, I'm drinking my tea, but then I also have an Arizona too. So, but I do try to drink a lot of water. I don't really drink a ton of Arizona, maybe one a day, if that, or one every other day. But yeah, like I said, this time of year when it gets colder, I drink a lot more tea, and so that's what I do. But I do drink a lot of water. It's warm. I'm sweating. I got the window open too. So uh, let's make the trolls angry, people. Thumbs up. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Ed, I think someone upstairs is watching over you. Well, you know what? Like I said, I'm very, very blessed, and I would not deny that. And I want you guys to know something too. And I'm just going to put this out here. I've had a lot of people say, that they're praying for me and stuff like that. And I want you to know, I am absolutely not offended by that at all. I actually do appreciate it because I know that comes from your heart, and you mean the best by it. So I just want to say to you guys that are praying for me and stuff like that, I do appreciate that and thank you. It does mean a lot to me. So I just wanted to say that I did appreciate that because I've had a couple of different people make those comments. And I had actually somebody say, I hope that, that I wasn't offended. And absolutely not. No way. Never offended by anything like that. Already axed one troll. Okay, JJ, that's good. That's cool. Yeah, you know what? They're gonna try anyway, and I don't even know why they waste their time because we got you guys there. My moderators are awesome guys, absolutely awesome. But they can't help themselves. They just they're like little kids, and they like having their temper tantrums. So let's see. So I clicked OK and nothing came up. I don't know what you mean by that. Okay, who said one shot, one kill? That's a marine. Yep, yeah, that's a marine motto. Yep, it is. I believe it is. Could you take on a group of Antifa barehanded during SHDF? Well, not at my age. I'd be out of wind pretty quick. It would depend on how many there were and what size they were. I think that all would play into it. I can handle my own. I have no problem with that. But I won't have to do it barehanded, so that would be, But yeah, at my age, my wind ain't there like it used to be. I can't go like I could when I was a kid, so I want to get things over with quickly. So that's my motto. If there's bad people around there, let's get them dispatched as quickly as possible. So, but midget Antifa, there you go. Oh my God, that's too funny. If you prep, you will not be empty-handed. You are absolutely right, Kevin. You are absolutely right. This is why I always laugh, guys. And here's what I think is very, very funny. And I'm going to mention this really quickly. I get the comments, and I get them. Oh, when SHTF happens, we're going to come and we're going to take your stuff and blah, 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 blah. And I always find that amusing because the reality is, number one, the last place that you are going to want to go after for anything, supplies, gear, food, whatever, is going to be a prepper's compound. That's going to be the very, very last place you're going to want to go, because as preppers, we just don't prep food and supplies. We prep for every contingency. So I just always find it very amusing that people say that, because it's like I'm going to go, okay, yeah, back the truck up. Come on, bring it back. Nope, to the left. You're going to go off the driveway. Yep, there you go. Back it. Okay, now let's open up. I'll help you load. How stupid are some people? How stupid are some people is what I should say. And I'm trying to say that in a nice way. So, but a lot of them are just talking out of their behinds anyway. Do I believe that dehumidifier water would be safe to drink after boiling? I think that it probably would be, but why would you want to do it that way? You're not getting everything out of that water that you would want to get. There's other ways to process water. Depending on what part of the country you're in too, I guess that really makes a difference. But it would be safe to drink if you filtered it afterwards. I think so, yes. But I think there's a lot of other options that you could go with first. Are you going to have to? Yeah, I'm going to have to keep the cats out of the greenhouse. It's not going to be that type of greenhouse. It's going to be stone. But I don't plan on having the cats in the greenhouse anyway. I'm going to tell you what, my orange cat, Max, he loves plants. He loves to eat plants. So, no. So he's not going in the greenhouse. Pharmacies are the best things it's going to be looted at, especially by the drug addicts. Oh, right. First thing, Justin, you're absolutely right. The pharmacies are going to get hit very, very quickly. So, but yeah, it's just depending on what, and again, it really depends on the event. If it's a slow, gradual decline, that's going to entail one set of problems. If it's really, really quick, where like an EMP or a power outage or something like that, that's a whole different set of problems. It's all about logistics, where you're at the time, what's going on, who's around you, and all those type of things. So, yeah, it's just it's not an easy situation with that, and it's a tough call. So, but that's definitely something that you want to pay attention to for sure. Again, that's why we prep the way that we do. We prep for whatever's going to happen, because you don't know. If it's a pandemic, that's a whole different kind of things that you're going to have to worry about and have to be concerned about. Even with the people in your group, they're going to have to be quarantined for a certain amount of time to make sure that they're not sick. And then what happens if people are sick in your group? How do you deal with that? How do you take care of that? So it is definitely it's a tough call. I mean, it's you're going to have they're going to have to be taken care of. I mean, it's not like you're going to abandon the people in your group and not take care of them. So you're going to have to look at putting in a clean room, and and those type of stuff. And so, like I said, there's a lot. Again, depending on the situation and what's happening. If anybody's ever seen the movie The Road, that's a really realistic expectation of the way things would be. You will have cannibalism. You will have people killing you for a can of soup. Scary. And and here's the thing: what a lot of people don't realize, suicide would be huge in that type of a situation, because people are not going to want to deal with the new reality of the way things are, and that's tough. That's a hard thing to think about, but you will have people that will kill themselves, and the world is not kind now. Okay, for the most, I mean, if there's a lot of good out there, but again, there is a lot of bad out there too now. What happens with no rule of law? You know what I mean? So those are things that you really need to think about. Keep your bug out bags updated at all times in your vehicles. Mine are all set. Yep, good, Brian. That's awesome. Great comment. Absolutely, you need to periodically go through, see how things are, and it definitely makes a big difference. So this is why I don't believe in bartering will work in the beginning. Well, right in the very beginning, JJ, no. Bartering in the very beginning absolutely would not work, because it'd be too dangerous. Unless you have connected with other prepper groups and have that network and have that familiarity with those type of people that are in another prepper group, that you could work with them. Okay, if it's somebody like I said that you could trust. But no, in the beginning of an SHDF event, bartering would not be a good idea. Low profile, staying as low profile as you possibly can. You're going to want to travel as little as possible in the beginning. If you want to get to your bug out location, but once you're there, you are definitely want to keep a low profile. Just kind of keep your head down. People are evil 9 out of 10. I don't think it's that high, Richard, but there's plenty of people out there that are not nice people. But I think that there's a lot of good people out there too. But again, you take away the creature comforts. You have somebody not have 3-4 days of food, and you're going to see the true animal come out of a lot of people. So that's something to think about as well. There should be a group of about 30 with like a fort, with everyone having a special job or specific job. Yeah, you're gonna need more than 30 people, to be honest with you. You're gonna definitely need to have a larger group to survive because you got to realize a couple things. Okay, let's say you have 30. You got 30 people in your group. You're gonna lose people. to sickness, to suicide, to just accidents that are going to happen, to combat. You're going to lose people. So the larger group that you can have, the more people, it's going to make the workload less on everybody else. Granted, now you need that much more food. You absolutely are going to need a lot of food in that type of situation. So getting through that first winter, guys, that's going to be the key. Getting through that first winter, and there's power in numbers, exactly. But getting through that first winter is going to be the biggest factor right there. That's going to really, really be the tell. So you get through that first winter, and then by the spring, there's going to be a whole lot less people around. And if you have been able to get through that winter in a good way, you're going to be okay. Hey, L. Gibson, is it true that karma will come back on you? Well, it can be a good karma too. So you've done good things along for these kinds of blessings to come. Well, thank you very much. I do appreciate that, and thank you for that donation. I'm a big believer in karma. I absolutely believe that if you put out good energy out there and you try to do positive things and you try to help people, I think it does come back to you. Also, if you put out evil actions and you're doing underhanded, nasty stuff, that comes back to you as well. If you have bad intentions, I think that absolutely comes back and it will bite you in the behind as well. So, and if you do things intentionally to hurt someone, it's even worse. So it's like the rule of three. If you put negative actions out there, it comes back to you times three. If you maliciously try to smear somebody or hurt somebody, it absolutely comes back to you times three. But I think if you put out positive, it definitely comes back to you too. And, how would you deal with a troublemaker in the group, Ed? Would you let them leave or kill them? Again, Justin, that's a situation that you don't know until you get to that situation. It would depend on what they did. If it was a rapist or a child molester, they're going to die by lead poisoning. There's no doubt about that. So, I mean, it really depends. It depends on the situation. I think you're going to see an old West style of justice system again. You're absolutely right, Scarlet Rose. There's going to be instant justice for crimes. There's not going to be any more trial by jury of your peers and stuff like that. If somebody does something bad and they get caught, I think it's going to be instant justice. So again, it's just but again, it's like if you have vetted people in your group and you've gone through and checked that, you're not going to have those issues, you hope. You're hopefully going to surround yourself with good people. Let good people deal with bad people, right? And sometimes you have to deal with them harshly, and that's going to happen. So, somebody was like 3:30. All right, so we got to ask again, guys, because the freaking time just flies by. It's unbelievable how fast this hour goes every time. And I know I say that every time, but it really, really does. It goes by so very fast. So if you haven't shot that thumbs up yet, guys, if you would do so, I would appreciate it. Let's see, what are we at? 331. Okay, so let's see if we can hit 400. I doubt we will, but it'd be fun to see if we could do it. Let's see. Trust will be gone once SHTF happens. Yeah, you're right. It's there's not going to be a whole lot of trust with people. People are going to be very, very on edge. They're going to be very untrustworthy of a lot of people. So it's going to be tough. It's absolutely going to be tough. So, but again, you know what? Like I said, we need to make those connections now. And I've talked about that over and over and over again. And I think it's so important to make those connections with people now. Extend your group. Put yourself out there a little bit. Does it make you a target? Of course it does. But if you never take that chance, you're never going to get a chance to meet decent people. And I think once you get that opportunity and you meet decent people, I think that makes a big, big difference when the time comes. Because I think we all have this preconceived notion in our heads of how bad it's going to be. And I'm hoping, let's put it like this. Okay, so I plan for the worst and I hope for the best, right? So I'm hopeful that people will work together. Okay. Stock up on iced tea. Actually, you know what? I stock up on tea bags. I literally have probably 600 or 700 tea bags. So that's what I stock. I won't stock up on green tea. When it's gone, it's gone. But yeah, I got about 600 or 700 tea bags. So yeah, I got a lot of tea. It's probably more than that, but I got a lot of tea. But again, I'm hopeful that people will come together in that time of crisis and try to work together. And I think that that's important that we do that. Now, don't get me wrong. You're going to have those people that are going to be like, I'm not helping anybody. I'm just going to take care of myself, and I don't need anybody. Well, those type of people won't last long. I'm just telling you right now. I really don't see them lasting long at all. So the economy will fail first. The rest will follow. You know what? That's an absolutely realistic expectation. That really is. And so that it could absolutely happen that way. The economy is in a mess. Can you grow tea plants? Yeah, actually, in that bucket that I got, there's herbal teas that she had sent me in there that I can grow. Yep, so I can absolutely grow tea that way as well. Should you bury cash? If you want to put some silver down under the ground, someplace, have a little cache of silver buried, I don't see a problem with that. Cash itself, if the economy collapses, cash itself will be worthless. So if you have it in a hard currency like silver or gold, I wouldn't do gold myself, and I've talked about that, and I've talked about the reasons why. But silver, I do have silver. I like silver, and I think it's a good thing to have. So, actually, I got to tell you this. So I'm going through, and I was rolling up, and if you can see them up here on the thing, I got my rolled coins. So I was going through. I got a container, and once it gets full, I go through my coins, and I was like a little kid. I found a 1964 quarter, so 90% silver. So I was like, yes. So always go through your change, because you'll be surprised that once in a while you will find that junk silver in there. So that's it was pretty cool. So I was happy about that. So it was like another piece of silver there. So, but like I said, it's I definitely would have the junk silver, your dimes, your quarters, your half dollars, silver dollars. Absolutely get those. I think that's really important to have, and it's a good investment. So, because again, once SHTF happens, the dollar is backed by nothing. So that's something to think about as well. All right, so what we're going to do now at this point, I'm going to ask for another thumbs up because we're at 360. I want to see if we do hit 400. So if you haven't done a thumbs up yet, please do so. And nobody jump the gun here, all right? We are Legion because we are many. A lot of off-gridders, a lot of preppers out here, guys. We're a huge, huge family. And so where's everybody from tonight? We got to do that. Where's everybody from? We got New Jersey, Western Massachusetts, Linden, Texas, Sodus, Michigan, Cheektowaga, New York, Montreal, Canada, very nice, Colorado, Columbus, Oregon, Washington, Wisconsin, Oshawa, Ontario, very nice, the Netherlands, nice, Georgia, York, Pennsylvania, New Zealand, let's see, it's going so fast. We got Southeast Pennsylvania, we have Colorado, Ohio, Indiana, Arkansas, Virginia, Maryland, North Carolina, California, North Central Pennsylvania, the UK, very nice, West Virginia, BC, Canada, very nice, Hawaii, very cool, Flint, Michigan, Pennsylvania again, Rochester, let's see, that's New York, so if anybody wants to know, California, Maine, Vancouver Island, Virginia, Heath, Texas, Northern Idaho, let's see, Northern Ireland, very nice. Jackson, Michigan, Minnesota, Los Angeles, California, very nice. Daytona, Florida, Illinois, Texas, New York City, North Carolina, Boston, Mass, Florida, North Dakota, Flint, Michigan again, Waterford, Michigan, Ohio, Oakland, Oregon. So, guys, we're all over the place. We're all over the country. We're all over the world. We are this huge group of awake people. And think about that. I mean, just the amount of people out there that are awake, and the more are waking up every day, which is absolutely awesome. And I think that that's very, very cool. We got Kentucky there. I don't think I said Kentucky yet. Northwest Arkansas. That's cool. Farmington, New York. Jackson, Jackson, Michigan. Very nice. Hollywood, Florida. Very nice. So anyway, we are the ones that are awake. We are the ones that can truly make a difference when that time comes. I've talked about a lot about, after an event, what's going to happen, how bad it's going to be. And I think we have an opportunity where we truly can make a difference and help good people. Okay. I really think we are in a position, because we're awake, where we can make a difference and we can save lives. And so again, you're going to have to make a decision. Who do I help? Who do I not help? So that's really, really important as well. So I think that, if we have that opportunity where we can do that, I think that's great. So, I'm going to say that every time. And hopefully, if you're kind of on the fence about that, hopefully that you take that to heart, because I want you to put the shoe on the other foot. So you've been prepping, you get overrun, and everything you got is gone. And now you're on the move and you're trying to find someplace, and you come upon another prepper compound. Are you going to want them to take you in? Are you going to want them to help you? So that's kind of the way I look at it. What would I want somebody to do for me? How would I want to be treated? You know what I mean? So those are things to think about. Put yourself in that person's position, and maybe they didn't prep at all. Maybe they had no clue. They were just asleep at the wheel, going through the motions, buying into the system and not realizing what the dangers were. So, and like I said, there's a lot of good people out there, and we are the ones that can truly make a difference. And there's a lot of bad people too, guys. So, listen to your gut, listen to your instinct, truly vet people and make sure that they are going to be decent people. And then once you bring them into your group, you keep an eye on them for a good long time and make sure that you're not going to have issues. So, what are we at here? 386. We got 14 more to go. Let's hit 400 just for fun. Let's see if we can get that. The system is ending. Yeah, well, I think that we're in the death throes of the system right now. It's definitely going to happen. The hunters become the hunted. Yep. Always stay alert and be ready. Exactly. Great advice, JJ. I agree with you 100%. That's why, like I said, stay low key when the time comes. Once you get to your bug out location, build your fortifications, build defensive places, get into the hills, dig into the hills. Do what you got to do to protect yourselves. And I think that that's really, really important. Really important. So what are we? 395. All right. Well, 396. We get 4 more. Let's see if we can get 4 more, guys. Lori Nelson said, I guess I'm going to be a lone wolf, not acceptable. Well, like I said, Lori, you're going to have to try to find yourself a group to connect with. Do the best you can. Now is the time. Absolutely, now is the time. So, and we hit 400. So that's cool. I didn't think we were going to hit 400. So thank you guys. I appreciate that. That's awesome. I want to just tell everybody to remember, we are all in this together. That's important to remember. I think a lot of people lose sight of that we are a huge family, and we can really, we are in this together. We really, truly are. Remember to hug and kiss the ones you love. Tell them every single day. Tomorrow is not guaranteed. We never know what's going to happen in life. So it's really important to tell the people that you care about every single day. Okay. Also remember, guys, STD. It's one step at a time, one thing at a time, and one day at a time. Whatever you're trying to do, whatever you're trying to accomplish, you can do it. The only one that is going to stop you from getting there is you. Nobody else can stop you. Okay. So stay positive, stay away from that negativity, and you guys will be fine. I enjoyed the chat tonight, guys. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Remember, Friday, we're going to be talking about Iran and what's going on over there. Okay. And it's not, it's people in Iran are rising up. So that's really cool too. And so we're going to talk about that on Friday. So look forward to that. I will see you all tomorrow. I hope everybody has a great night. Prepper Nurse 1 out for now.